Welcome to another episode of Pedis and Mimosas. I'm your host, Shannon Mack. Yes, we have a special guest in the building. You know her from Love and HipHop. She just dropped a brand new album called The Naked Truth, and she dropped 2 new singles, one called Petty and Queen of Diamonds. Without further ado, yes, we got your girl, Moniece Slaughter, in the building.
Ew.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm barely hanging in there, girl. But I made it.
But you looking good.
Thank you, honey. I tried.
Fresh face.
We had no choice. I overslept and missed glams, but I wasn't gonna miss it.
You don't even need glam. What are you doing
thank
on your
you.
face? Please tell me. What are you putting on this face to have it look all
A
flawless?
line of products from a black female dermatologist, Dr.
Okay.
Susan Evans.
Dr. Susan. Hey. Free plug.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's what's up. So what's been going on with you these days?
Working, momming, performing. It's been good.
How do you juggle all of what you do?
Well, as you know, can see by how tardy I was today,
It's all good.
I'm trying to figure it out because I don't have management. I don't have a label yet. I haven't found a PR that really suits my musical needs, so I'm doing everything. So I'm not just doing the physical labor, but I'm doing all the prep labor, which makes my baby little brain like so tired.
Yeah.
I'm so exhausted, and I'm like forgetting basketball games for the baby, and it's horrible.
So who do you have helping you outside of like professionally? Like, you don't know, family, no friends?
You know, no,
You need to get that.
I do.
You need to get
But you know, my son is quite the character. So we've been through 3 nannies
Okay.
already.
What's that like? Nanny life.
It's weird because, you know, the show kind of created this idea that I just kind of pawn my kid off and like I'm off to the races. But I actually never had childcare until this year.
Cam was on the set of Love and HipHop the whole time?
No. But like his dad and I would switch off. But I've never actually used like a sitter or a nanny until this year. But I think I'm like too late at this point
How old is
because
Cam now?
he's 8, he'll be 9
Okay.
in January. So he's got like his own little personality and like way of doing things. And as much as I filter adult content, that mouth of his is just, he's my child. So his will is like impeccable.
Yeah.
So I think that at this point, he's used to it just being he and I. So when I'm not there, it's like, I think he knows if he makes the nanny miserable, then he like, you know, the nanny's calling me a million times and I'm like, just anything for him to stay in contact with me. So it's just like, it's pointless.
How do you go about even picking a nanny?
I've been really careful. So I've tried like the family referrals. I've tried like agencies. He didn't like any of the tutors. He didn't like any of the nannies. So, and now he's in a private school. And the amount of homework that they send home on a day-to-day basis. So
I feel overwhelmed with you saying all this.
It's a lot. So when I come home, we're doing homework for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And he's in 3rd grade.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'm
But
doing.
he's in 3rd grade already. Let me process that. Like,
I know, right?
I feel
Every
like-
time he says something crazy, I'm like, be quiet, you were just born yesterday. Where'd you get that? How you know that? You know? So I'm like,
Right. So when does Moniece woosah? Like, when do you
in my
just-
sleep.
Girl.
In my sleep. I feel like I spend my life in the car.
Really? Oh, in LA?
Yeah. And I
You
live
drive
like,
for Uber?
I should. I put 2,000 miles on my truck in less than a month.
Them Love and HipHop checks is going to that gas.
And it's a monster. That truck is a mess, honey.
Oh my goodness. So, speaking of Love and HipHop, how many seasons have you been on so far?
All of them. Since season
5?
1, so a total of 5.
And the way you just said that, it seems like there's like a lot, I don't want to use the word burden, but it just seems stressful.
It's annoying, yeah.
Yeah, are you done with it? Or can you be done with it?
I am done with it, but whether or not I'm going to be able to be done with it is really the question.
So the Moniece that we see on Love and HipHop versus the Moniece that I'm talking to right now, Are those, is it the same, or is
the same person? It's just, you know, Love and Hip Hop doesn't want this version of me. And producers have actually said it to me. It's weird.
Expand on that a little bit.
You know, before the season finale, when I was due to shoot with Princess, I was like, you know, I want to go see someone for anger management, and I want the cameras to be there. And they said, no one wants to see you therapy your way through the situation, so maybe we'll cover it after. So they don't want me to be like level-headed. They don't want to show the public that I have that ability to be rational. They just want to put me in ridiculous situations that are going to make me like lose my cool, which is why I fight so hard. And I'm like, you know, they
Literally?
call me, no, like literally and metaphorically,
Yeah.
you know, they call me Gone Girl, because I'll sit there and I'll like monologue, and my tone just naturally is very monotonous. It's very dry. So is my sense of humor. So, you know, they don't want to see that. They want to see.
And of course, when you signed up for the show, you did not expect.
I had no idea. So when people are like, oh, you know what you signed up for, I do know what I signed up for now.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I didn't. And so I see a lot of fan comments, such as, oh, you know what you signed up for, stop complaining. And it's like, once I signed up for season 2, yeah, I knew what I signed up for. But if I could have gotten away from it, you know, I would have. And just because I am signing up to do a job doesn't mean that I deserve to be really bullied for all intents and purposes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so for me, it's like if I could just walk away scot-free, I would. But there are logistics, there are contracts, there are legalities that idiots sitting at home in their living rooms with no money and, you know, dropping their babies off with this person and that person to chase dick and nightlife don't know about. They don't even know that those things exist because they don't have jobs.
Right. So I'm glad you set the record straight.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah. I mean, I know what I signed up for, but at the same time, just I'm still a person.
Right. Right. So is there anything on Love and Hip Hop that you would have wanted us to see, you would have wanted us to know versus what we did get from the show?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I would have wanted people to see me, like, I'm pretty transparent. So to me, the term reality TV means whether I'm struggling with something or succeeding at something or trying something new, whatever trial, whatever tribulation, whatever accomplishment, whatever milestone I feel is worthy of coverage, no matter how big or small to production. So for me, I wish that there had been a lot more musical coverage.
I was just about to ask
And
you
once
that.
I realized that they don't want to see me happy in a relationship, they don't want to see me and my baby daddy make up, they don't want to see me and my mom make amends, they don't want to come to the studio, they don't want to, you know, really, they told me that, you know, therapy was too dark. So they don't want to come to therapy. So therapy is too dark, but none of the other stuff we cover is dark.
Right.
I'm confused.
Right.
People looking for their biological parents
Yeah.
and families falling apart and marriages being destroyed. That's not dark. But
Right.
yeah.
That's a lot.
So I wish that they had covered more about mental health in the Black community, because I was really verbal and really vocal about that this season. I wish that so I'll give you an example. One of the producers said to me, you know, at the top of the season, they called me and said, hey, do you have any music that you want to get cleared? And I said, not for you, I don't. And they were like, well, you know, don't. Well, no, they're just, you know, they use the musical settings as backdrops for bullshit. So my thing was, I do have tons of music, but nothing to give you.
Okay.
And they were like, well, you know, don't call us later on in the season and say we're not covering and we're not giving you. And my thing was, I'm not going to. I'm not interested in giving you my music because it's not beneficial to me on this platform. I don't sell any music. No one remembers my song by the end of a scene because something dumb happened.
Right.
And finally, they just ended up saying, you know, this is not a musical show. Your music is a backdrop.
It's not a musical show?
That's what I was told. This is not a musical show. Your music is a backdrop. The most important thing is, who are you fucking?
Wow.
So I'm like, well, thanks for actually finally like verbalizing that, because we all know it. So instead of feeding it to us like that's what it is, maybe try giving people the ability to decide for themselves before they sign up for this, because that's how it's sold to us in the beginning. You know, this is a great platform for you to tell your story and reboot your music career or jumpstart a music career or whatever the case may be. And in all reality, you guys don't care about that anyway. But then you end up with a bunch of fed up castmates and you're mad at us, but it's like, you want us to tell the truth about our lives, but you didn't tell us the truth coming into this.
Right. So if there was somebody that came
Girl,
to you
I'm
and
sorry,
said,
I was born with an extra pinky toenail.
were you really? Mm-hmm. No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. It's like a deformed little nipple thing on the end of my pinky toenail, girl. Crazy. And every time they go to clip it with the cuticle clipper, I'm like, careful now.
That is hilarious.
Girl,
what I was going to ask you was, if somebody came to you, like, let's say, hypothetically speaking, me and you's homegirls, and I'm like, you know, Mona Scott Young came to me and asked me, you know, come be on Love and Hip Hop. What advice would you give me?
Well, I would say, girl, you lying, because Mona don't come to nobody.
Let's get the record straight.
So that didn't happen. Who really came to you, girl? But if you were
I'm thinking about trying out for Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, if you were offered the opportunity, I would say run. And I would say if you don't want to run and you want the check, then keep your relationship, you know, off camera.
Is it possible to negotiate what you want shown, what you want showcased on the show?
Yeah, I mean, you can negotiate a lot of things, but that doesn't mean you'll get it.
Right, right.
Girl, you got to really scrub that, girl. Because I've been cutting up the sheets.
Go ahead, get it in, get it in.
And my socks have been snagging when I take them off. It's a mess. I scrape my own leg because I cuddle with myself now at night. Sad.
You cuddling with yourself, so you single,
I'm single, yeah.
Okay, so
like I cross my legs and I like rub my foot on my own leg.
Girl, shut up.
Swear to God, because I used to rub my feet on my ex's leg. That was how I would fall asleep. So now I have to rub my feet on my own leg. And I'm like, damn.
Are you looking?
No.
No? Why? Everybody needs love.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm on this really awesome, we're in the middle of this really like awesome transition. And so for me, I just feel like I've completely rerouted myself in my faith and my religion.
Okay.
And so many amazing things have happened since I have been single. And you know, it started off as me trying to get over her, and then turned into me finding me, healing me, learning to love me, appreciate me.
Right.
And
so
really,
you are doing work, Moniece.
Yeah.
You made it seem like you like super busy and you don't got time for you.
No, well, I mean, like I try, like I've missed 3 services. I'm like, okay, self, you're tripping because you're starting to curse again. Your road rage is out of control again. I'm like, I need to go to church. But it's really just, it's more of like a centering thing.
Right, right.
I actually talk to my therapist more than I actually have time to get to my therapist. And I was able initially in the beginning of this transition to make time every other week for spiritual counseling with my pastor, but God's really blessed me, so the album did really, really well.
Good.
And I'm starting to book like a lot of show performances, more than club hostings. And so now
because you're bigger than the club.
Yeah, so now I'm like, I'm trying to fit it all in, and I'm trying to figure it out so that I can stay grounded. And I've been like working out, not to lose weight, but just to get my wind up. So in other words, I've just been implementing all the things that I said I wanted. And quickly I realized that I feel like my ex was a roadblock.
AD.
And my ex.
Okay.
And
we'll leave it at that. Your ex.
Yes. And I feel like it's twofold. I feel like we've been really great together and we were really bad together and for each other at times. But we are we come from polar opposites of the family spectrum. And so in my family, my parents have been married 30 years.
And your mother and your father still together?
They're still together.
Okay.
They've known each other since 2nd grade.
Wow.
But in my family, when you say you love someone, there's nothing you don't do to figure it out. Well, she's broken up with me 6 times via text in 2 years. And so finally this time when everything started happening.
For that long? 2
yeah,
years?
over 2 years.
Dang.
So when finally this time everything started happening, it felt different. Like I was really sad. I think I cried like 1 time, like 1 or 2 nights, and then I was over it. And then I really just dug my feet in and I was like, you know what, the album's done. Don't get distracted. Follow through, finish. And it was that one push, that one breakthrough was all I needed to really just like say, okay, God, I hear you, I see you, and let me do my part, because now I know he's gonna kick in, make sure I'm okay. And so
we need to toast to God.
Yeah, girl, yes. My orange juice, because I don't drink, bitch.
Okay, so we got to toast to God. She has the virgin mimosa.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers to God, yes. I love that.
But yeah, so all in all, do I wish that things could have been different? Yeah. But what I know now is every time she broke up with me via text, that was God removing her.
Right.
And then I welcomed that back in, and things would be great for a while, and then we would both get comfortable. Neither one of us would implement the changes we said we were going to, and then things just went back to normal. And so, or not even normal, but bad, the way that they were.
Y'all's normal.
Our normal,
Right.
which was dysfunctional. But my thing is, every relationship, familial, friendship, business, intimate relationship, is somewhat dysfunctional. There's no, and that's because there's no perfect person.
Right.
So you're going to experience dysfunction. That's not the problem.
Right.
The problem is, how do you overcome the dysfunctional hurdle?
Have you figured that out?
And so I've figured it out for me, but it requires work. Exactly. And that requires 2 people when you're in a love relationship.
Right. You wanted that, but she didn't.
Right, I can't carry the load, and you're not gonna keep making me feel like, which is what I realized this last time, I'm not the only problem here.
Right.
So every time we land at this crossroad, it's you abandoning me, making me feel like I'm the problem.
Right.
You know, saying things like, you're the reason why we're not together. It's you, now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna keep acting like you don't do and say fucked up and foul shit.
Right.
We're not gonna keep acting like you're this stellar partner. We're just not. We're not gonna act like you're a full-blown, legitimate co-parent, because you pick and choose when you wanna be that. So at the end of the day, I'm not negating how much my son loves her or what he, you know, what she meant to him, but we're also not gonna act like you were an active co-parent.
I got a few questions.
Yeah.
First question, how does your son adjust to a homosexual relationship?
I really waited for him to kind of cue me. The first time he met her, he actually wasn't supposed to be with me. And I forgot like why I ended up having him that morning, but I was going to brunch with my friend, one of my best friends, and I invited my ex. And you know, he looked at her, and then he looked at me, and then he looked at my best friend. And so then he asked me if she was a girl. And I said yes, and he said, well, but she looks like Justin Bieber. And I said, well, you
Very
know,
observant there, Cam.
Right, so I basically broke it down to him in preferences. And so I said, you know, everyone has a preference. And he was like, what is that? And I said, well, for instance, you prefer to wear shorts over pants, right? Mommy has to argue with you to put on pants because you prefer shorts. So he kind of chuckled, and I said, and you prefer to wear your Jordans, and you prefer to play basketball, but when Mommy wanted you to play baseball, you said yes, but then you said no because I want to play basketball, so that's a preference.
Okay, I like that.
And so I said, you know, Mommy prefers to wear 2 types of clothes. Sometimes I like to match you with my sweatpants and my Jordans.
Okay.
And then sometimes I prefer to wear my dress or my purse or my flip-flops or my makeup. Sometimes I prefer to wear my wig. Sometimes I prefer to wear my struggle bun and you make fun of me. And I said, well, she prefers to wear her jeans and Jordans and wear her hair short and have tattoos. And I left it at that.
Yeah.
As the relationship progressed, you know, at first, because I didn't want to confuse him, she was our roommate and my best friend.
Okay.
And so he would, you know, get really excited and tell his friends, like, you know, oh, my mom's roommate, she has a really cool car, and da-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
So then it was, we were all eating dinner one night, and he said something. Actually, we were in the drive-thru, and she picked a flower from the drive-thru and gave it to me, and he was in the back seat and he freaked out.
Why?
And he said, you can't give that to my mom because she's not gay.
Oh, so he knows the concept of gay.
And I didn't know that. And so I said, well, what is gay? And where did you hear that?
Yeah.
And he said, my dad said it on the phone one time, and I said, well, how did he say it? And he said, I don't remember. And he said, and then I was at my ma's house, which is his dad's mom, watching the news, and that man shot all the people in Florida because they were gay.
Wow.
And I said, well, Cam, you know.
How old was he when you guys were having this conversation?
He was 6.
6?
So I said, well, Cam, you know, you should never talk bad about people, hurt people because of their preferences. Remember we talked about preferences? And I said, you know, some people actually don't have preferences. Some people can't help what they feel.
Right.
And who they like and who they love. And so, you know, I said, being gay means someone likes or loves someone that is the same gender. So if you were to fall in love with a boy, that would make you gay.
What did he say?
And he said, ew, I would never. And I said, and that's fine. You can't help that. Just like someone who is gay can't help being gay. And cut to almost 2 years later, the 3 of us are at the table, and he said something, and I said, well, how would you feel if AD and I were girlfriends? And he said, that's perfect, then you can get married, and then he mapped out all the dates. So this day we pick up the chairs, this day we pick up the drinks and the food.
No way.
Yeah, and then this date you get married because then it's after my birthday, so it won't mess up basically my day. Pretty much was what he was saying. And you know, his birthday is January 8th. So on the 10th, we were supposed to get the chairs. 11th, we were supposed to get the food and the drinks. And then the 12th, we were supposed to get married because it gives him time to have his party and stuff like that. That was the explanation we got.
I love that you are teaching your son to just love, period. I love that.
Yeah.
So speaking of